In the headlines, violent riots have erupted in Belfast after a Sudanese refugee was arrested in connection with a critical stabbing. Protesters searched vehicles and destroyed property, prompting British leaders to issue urgent calls for calm. Bulgaria's defense minister says the war in Ukraine cannot be resolved in the battlefield, calling for direct political talks. The minister confirms Sofia will not provide additional military hardware to Kiev. A powerful explosion has rocked a major gas pipeline in Russia Republic of Dagestan, triggering a massive fire. Emergency crews cut off supplies to the Kyzyurt district, but no casualties have been reported. President Donald Trump announced that Washington is in the final stages of securing a comprehensive accord with Iran. The strategic shift comes even as a U.S. naval blockade continues to choke off Tehran's crude exports. The former president of the League of Mayors of the Philippines has called on all local officials to expose corruption under the current administration, citing substantial misappropriation of flood control funds. And the Philippine Senate has implemented strict security measures after the NBI flagged a credible threat against the institution. The enhanced protocols follow a volatile shooting incident outside the complex last month. I'm Val de Vidagracia. News and World starts now. Riots have erupted across the streets of Belfast, with protesters searching vehicles and destroying property following the arrest of a Sudanese refugee in connection with a critical stabbing incident. The violent unrest intensified after a man was left seriously injured in the initial knife attack. Real Parva has the details.
The streets of Belfast were left heavily ablaze Tuesday as local unrest spiraled completely out of control. Local firefighters on the scene battling intense flames after multiple vehicles were set on fire along a terraced residential street. The local demonstration against unchecked migration rapidly spread across the city over the course of the day, resulting in widespread vandalism. Mass protesters were seen setting street barricades on fire, while emergency services received reports of targeted attacks on properties and businesses owned by minority ethnic groups. Public buses and private vehicles were completely torched across the cityscape before heavily armed riot police moved into the area to disperse the demonstrators. Earlier in the week, graphic footage circulated across social media platforms showing what was framed online as an attempted beheading, depicting a knife-wielding attacker slashing at the head and neck of a victim. United Kingdom Prime Minister Keir Starmer publicly condemned the incident, describing the street attack as sickening. Following the initial public backlash, local authorities announced that a 30-year-old Sudanese national had been officially arrested and charged with attempted murder. Police officials explicitly noted that there is currently no evidence to suggest Monday's knife attack was terrorism-related. The police clarification followed an intense wave of social media backlash that directly resulted in the rapid calls for public protests in the streets of Belfast. The severe unrest comes amid broader, heightened national tensions over asylum policies and migration across the United Kingdom. The Belfast clashes follows a recent string of similar attacks and public unrest occurring directly outside of designated migrant hotels. This has been Virgil Parba, your global citizen correspondent, reporting for Newsline World.
Bulgaria's defense minister says the war in Ukraine cannot be resolved in the battlefield, calling for renewed focus on direct political negotiations. The minister said that continued fighting is only resulting in further loss of life and confirmed that his country does not plan to provide additional military hardware to Kiev. Prince Tripoli has the details.
A major shift in military support has been announced in the Balkans. Speaking at a formal press conference in Sofia, Bulgarian Defense Minister Dimitar Stoyanov described the ongoing conflict as a war of attrition and position. Stoyanov firmly stated that peeling more equipment into the theater of war will not yield a decisive military breakthrough for either nation.
Войната в Украйна няма да бъде решена на бойното поле. Виждаме една позиционна война и колкото и въоръжение да се трупа, единствено, което се получава е загуба на човешки животи. Време е да се седне на масата на преговори. Време е да се търси справедлив мир, който справедлив мир трябва да бъде определен от двете страни, които участват в конфликта. Разбира се, ролята на Европейския съюз е изключително важна. Трудно би се отдала тази роля да бъде роля на медиатор, поради простата причина, че така или иначе Европейския съюз е подпомагал Украйна в нейните усилия в тази война. На Украйна трябват повече хора, а не повече въоръжение. Тя има достатъчно много въоръжение от нашия екип. Така че ние не предвиждаме предоставянето на повече въоръжение на украинската армия.
The policy announcement from Bulgaria follows high-level diplomatic talks wrap up in London. Ukrainian President Vladimir Zelensky traveled to Downing Street to meet with British Prime Minister Keir Starmer, French President Emmanuel Macron, and German Chancellor Friedrich Merz. Those leaders focused their decisions on sustaining long-term military assistance for Ukraine. Reporting for Newsline World, this has been Prince Tripoli, SMNA News.
A powerful explosion has rocked a major gas pipeline in the Republic of Dagestan, triggering a massive fire across the region. According to the Russian Emergencies Ministry, the blast hit a crucial trunk pipeline within the Kyzylyurt district. Almar Persuelo has the news.
A localized pipeline failure has triggered a widespread emergency response in Dagestan. Emergencies Ministry confirmed that a high-pressure rupture occurred along the main Mozdok-Kazimagom pipeline Tuesday. Emergency teams were seen actively fighting intense flames shooting into the air from the damaged infrastructure. According to an official statement issued by the ministry, the primary gas flare-up has since been contained. The gas pipeline has been shut down between kilometers 718 and 661. Initial assessments confirm that there are no casualties or injuries reported at the immediate site of the blast. The public's Emercom branch later clarified that the severe explosion was directly caused by an abrupt pressure drop in the pipeline line running between the settlements of Bavtugay and Gelbach. While the main pressure fire has been suppressed, a massive secondary wildfire has broken out in the area. Dry grass continues to burn across scattered pockets, consuming a total area of 20 square kilometers. A specialized deployment of 59 firefighters and 16 pieces of emergency equipment remain active on the ground to combat the spreading grass fires and address the aftermath. Due to the persistent environmental threats, the Kyzylyurt district administration ordered the immediate evacuation of local residents. Evacuation orders were carried out across the three nearby settlements of Bavtugay, Nizhny, Chiryurt, and Gelbach. Regional officials stated that the entire emergency operation remains under the personal supervision of Fyodor Shukin, the acting head of the Republic. Reporter for Newsline World, Almar Forsuelo, SMNI News.
Iran's sports minister Ahmad Donyamali slammed the United States for creating delays in blocking visas for high-level sports staff just 48 hours before the kickoff of the 2026 FIFA World Cup. Carla Adeliana tells us more.
The intense geopolitical standoff between Washington and Tehran has cast a heavy shadow over the opening ceremony of the 2026 FIFA World Cup. Speaking at the press conference in Tehran, Iranian Sports and Youth Minister Ahmad Donyamali blasted U.S. immigration authorities for what he termed completely unprofessional conduct. The friction exploded after 15 essential members of Iran's technical, medical, and administrative staff were denied entry visas, while the squad's core athletes successfully secured transit papers. The visa blockade forced the Iranian Football Federation to entirely abandon its initial plans to camp on American soil.
کاملا رفتار غیر حرفه‌ایه و حتما شما بهتر از من میدونید که این رفتارها مختص ایران نیست. شما خیلی از کشورها با کشور میزبان
As a direct consequence of the diplomatic logjam, the Iranian national team touched down in the Mexican border city of Tijuana on Sunday to establish their official multi-week tournament headquarters. In stark contrast to the White House's restrictive border posture, Mexican President Claudia Sheinbaum welcomed the delegation, stating her administration has no issues hosting the team. Because they are quartered across the border, Team Melli will be forced to operate via an unconventional logistics plan, chartering flights directly into Los Angeles just 1 day prior to their Group G opening match against New Zealand.
ما هم بر اساس قوانینی که فیفا داره منشور المپیک هست اینها وظیفه‌شون اینه که واقع شرایط میزبانی رو در حد اعلی برای همه کشورها فارغ از اسم و اینها چیز کنن، ضمن اینکه برای ما بایستی خیلی ویژه‌تر به اصطلاح پیش‌بینی شرایط خوب بکنن، چون دیدن که ما در واقع کشوری نیستیم که در حال بخوایم زور بپذیریم. ما براشون اثبات کردیم رو، حداقل در 2 جنگ کامل براشون رو اثبات کردیم، بنابراین باعث با ما با احترام.
Donya Mali further issued an ultimatum to FIFA and local stadium security coordinators, asserting that team supervisors carry strict directives to immediately halt matches and pull players off the pitch if unauthorized flags, political symbols, or hostile anti-regime slogans are detected inside the stands. While Western organizers have provided assurances that security personnel will maintain a strictly political environment during Group G clashes against New Zealand, Belgium, and Egypt, hardliners in Tehran maintain that their highly motivated squad will refuse to play under coercive conditions. Reporting for Newsline World, Carla Abellana, SMNI News.
Up next, President Donald Trump announced that Washington is in the final stages of securing a comprehensive accord with Iran. The strategic shift comes even as the U.S. naval blockade continues to choke off Tehran's crude exports. The former president of the League of Mayors of the Philippines has called on all local officials to expose corruption under the current administration, citing substantial misappropriation of flood control funds. And the Philippine Senate has implemented strict security measures after the NBI flagged a credible threat against the institution. The enhanced protocols follow a volatile shooting incident outside the complex last month. More news when News and World returns. Washington is in the final stages of securing a comprehensive regional accord with Iran, as per U.S. President Donald Trump, even as the total naval blockade continues to completely choke off crude exports. Paul Montebon has the news.
U.S. President Donald Trump revealed that back-channel negotiations with the Islamic Republic of Iran have reached their final throes. Trump expressed immense confidence that a sweeping nuclear containment and maritime security treaty could be formally signed within the next 48 to 72 hours, signaling a potential breakthrough after months of intense economic conflict.
We have ongoing negotiations in Iran and with Iran that hasn't stopped. And we could have at least an idea by 1 or 2 days from now, but I think it's going well. We're in the final throes of what will be a very, very good deal that will not allow in any way, shape, or form nuclear weapons, etc.
Trump's words follows a volatile 24 hours where Israel and Iran broke their standing April ceasefire, trading heavy ballistic missile volleys and destructive fighter jet sorties. Addressing rumored diplomatic rifts with Jerusalem, Trump walked back previous behind-the-scenes admonitions, stating he does not blame Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu for executing retaliatory strikes against Iranian defense infrastructure after Israel was targeted first. Trump confirmed he directly mediated the subsequent freeze in hostilities, securing a fresh commitment from both combatants to halt active combat.
We had a very good conversation, and he was hit, and he hit back, and I can't blame him for that, but he was hit, he hit back, and now they've called it quits, so they're gonna just leave each other alone for another week or something. Then now they both agreed through me to stop. No, I said do what's right, but I want you to stop as quickly as you can, because they have to stop. It's had to do with Lebanon, and it has to stop.
While Trump promised that the highly contested Strait of Hormuz will immediately reopen to global shipping vessels upon the signing of the agreement, he emphasized that the United States military will maintain its absolute 100% economic chokehold on the Persian Gulf until a definitive diplomatic signature is finalized.
The blockade continues to hold 100%. Nothing is getting through our blockade. No oil, no income, no nothing. Nothing's getting through the blockade. And the strait will open up right away. It'll open up immediately upon signing, which could be in 2 or 3 days.
With global energy markets fluctuating wildly on the prospect of synchronized maritime opening, state officials in Tehran have reiterated that sustainable regional security remains their primary objective before any international signatures are put to paper. For God of my country, the Philippines, reporting for Newsline World, this has been Paul Montebon, SMNI News.
The World Bank is warning that approximately 2 million Filipinos could be driven into poverty as geopolitical conflicts in the Middle East shake the global economy. In response to the green forecast, Malacanang Palace has rolled out a series of targeted anti-poverty countermeasures. Creslin Catarong reports.
The Philippines is facing an uphill battle in its goal to eliminate widespread poverty. According to the latest forecast from the World Bank, the country is unlikely to meet its strategic target of reducing the national poverty rate to a single-digit level by the year 2028. World Bank senior economist Liliana Sosa notes that current macroeconomic projections do not show the country achieving that single-digit milestone before the end of President Ferdinand Marcos Jr.'s administration. The financial institution further warns that millions of citizens remain highly vulnerable to volatile economic shocks, including sudden spikes in commodity prices, natural disasters, and unforeseen global crises. Malacanang Palace directly addressed the World Bank's assessment regarding the structural vulnerabilities within the local population. During a press briefing, Presidential Communications Office Undersecretary Claire Castro read a formal statement from DepDev Secretary Arsenio Balisacan outlining active state interventions designed to shield vulnerable families. Balisacan highlighted that over the past 15 years, the Philippines has consistently ranked among the fastest growing middle-income economies globally, sustaining an average pro-poor growth rate of 3.5% annually.
Poverty fell to 15.5% in 2023 or 17.5 million people. Inequality below a Gini coefficient at 40, the high inequality threshold for the first time in 4 decades, and the country is poised to cross the upper middle income country threshold in the near future.
The official stated that the newly updated Philippine Development Plan spanning 2023 to 2028 is built entirely upon these economic milestones. However, the Marcos Jr. administration acknowledges that a significant number of Filipino families face an ongoing risk of falling back below the poverty line due to sudden job loss, health crisis, and severe climate change impacts. To mitigate these threats, the government is shifting its primary focus toward driving robust economic growth while simultaneously generating high-quality employment opportunities. Key policy priorities now include upgrading domestic workforce skills, boosting sector productivity, closing critical gaps in the social protection system, and strengthening national and local government capacities. The ultimate goal of these structural measures is to ensure the stable delivery of highly accessible public services across the archipelago. This sweeping domestic push follows a stark early warning from the World Bank regarding escalating geopolitical tensions. The global financial institution stated that the ongoing conflict in the Middle East could trigger cascading economic side effects, potential forcing an additional 2 million Filipinos into severe poverty. According to World Bank, the impending economic fallout will not be distributed evenly, with the absolute heaviest impact expected to hit the country's poorest and most vulnerable sectors. Reporting for Newsline World, this has been Carceline Catarong, SMNI News.
The former president of the League of Mayors of the Philippines has called on local officials to speak out against the corruption they are allegedly witnessing under the current administration. MJ Mondihar reports.
Mga kasama, sama-sama tayo.
That was the call of former League of Mayors of the Philippines President Mike Rama to local chief executives across the country. This comes amid the public's continuing search for justice over issues involving flood control projects and what he described as excessive political maneuvering. Attorney Rama insisted that local chief executives are aware of the widespread corruption in government. He said it is their responsibility as local government leaders to stand for the truth and not for patronage politics.
Kailan ba tayo tatayo? Na hindi na tayo makatayo kasi bininta na natin ating kaluluwa. Please.
Attorney Rama said he does not regret being subjected to what he called political persecution after opposing the push for the People's Initiative or PI to amend the Constitution. He also said that he has no regrets about granting a permit for the 2024 Maisug rally attended by former Philippine President Rodrigo Duterte in Cebu City. According to Rama, this is where what he described as the administration's harassment began because of his support for the Dutertes.
Simple lang ang dictum natin. Noon pang konsehal tayo, public service above self. If dumating ka, pagka mayor, once a councilor is always a councilor. And what is the dictum? What is the motto? Yung councilor, public service above self. Hindi yung service to yourself.
Rama then clarified that he is not calling for the government to be overthrown. He said his only appeal to local officials is to stand up for what is right. Across the Philippines, there are more than 1,600 municipal and city mayors, along with the same number of vice mayors. Meanwhile, there are 13,000 plus municipal and city councilors nationwide.
When you see dissenting, speak out. Hindi ko naman sinasabing, go against the government. No, speak out. Because if you believe that the government is doing wrong, speak out. Be counted. We will be remembered this era.
Reporting for Newsline World, this has been MJ Mondeja, SMNI News.
The Philippine Senate has implemented strict security measures after receiving information from the NBI regarding an alleged threat against the institution. This report from Carla Abellano.
Starting Wednesday, June 10 until Thursday, June 11, a work-from-home arrangement is in effect for all Senate offices. This was ordered by Senate President Pro Tempore Win Gatchalian following the alleged security threat to the institution. This comes after information was provided to the Gatchalian bloc by NBI Director Melvin Matibag on Monday. However, this contradicts the order issued by Senate President Alan Cayetano for all employees of the institution. He implemented regular working hours this week from 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. from Monday to Thursday. This is because Friday, June 12, is a holiday in celebration of Independence Day. Despite that, the Gatchalian bloc issued another order Tuesday. The entire Senate premises have been placed under heightened alert due to the alleged threat.
To address this, the heightened yung ating security. We will increase yung security. No? So So far, yun naman ang gagawin natin. We're working with it with the different law enforcement agencies. I'm working with the different intelligence community to really validate yung information. After assessing to protect yung sanit employees natin, no? O if there is really a possible threat, mas maganda na siguro na work from home na lang muna.
Did you recommend it?
Under this order, the reception of visitors for both employees and senators is temporarily prohibited. Cayetano previously questioned the timing of the threat information amid the ongoing Blue Ribbon hearing on allegedly anomalous flood control projects. For God and My Beloved Philippines, Carla Abellana, SMNI News.
In 2005, Pastor Apollo C. Kibuloy founded the Sunshine Philippines movement. A mission rooted in love for nature and nation. It began as an environmental and humanitarian initiative to reforest Mount Apo. Once barren, now a thriving and beautiful place. Through his initiative, thousands of trees have been planted across the Philippines, bringing life and hope to communities. His advocacy, One Tree, One Nation, is also a movement that calls for unity in preserving the environment. Because every tree planted is a step towards unity, healing, and a greater future. Join One Tree, One Nation.
After 20 beautiful years of loyalty, wagging tails, and quiet companionship, a local permanent makeup artist has found a profoundly poetic way to ensure her beloved dog never misses a moment of her life. What could this be? Let's find out from Stella Marie.
Facing the devastating loss of her dog, Patch, Claire Hobson decided against traditional memorials. Instead, she chose to carry him with her in the most literal, intimate way possible by blending a portion of his cremation ashes into her semi-permanent eyeliner ink, ensuring her best friend can still see the world through her eyes. When Patch passed away after 2 decades by Claire's side, the silence he left behind was deafening. Unable to bear the thought of leaving him behind, Claire, a professional permanent makeup artist, had an idea she admitted felt a bit crazy. She wanted to physically integrate Patch into her daily life. Turning to a close colleague who had also recently suffered the agonizing loss of a pet, Claire found an ally who truly understood the depth of her grief. Together, they meticulously sterilized and mixed a small amount of Patch ashes into a high-quality cosmetic pigment, preparing for a procedure that was as emotionally heavy and delicate. But Claire's deeply personal tribute didn't just heal her own heart, it sparked a movement of comfort for other grieving pet parents. Inspired by Claire's story, Kelly Bond from UK reached out after losing her beloved cat, Elfie. She turned to Claire to help honor Elfie's memory in the most incredible way. They designed a beautiful cat eye lash enhancement, infusing the pigment with a tiny amount of Elfie's ashes. This delicate process transformed a routine cosmetic enhancement into a living tribute. Because semi-permanent eyeliner naturally fades over time, both Claire and Kelly have safely preserved the remaining ashes, planning to repeat the bittersweet ritual whenever they need a touch-up. Now these women share a unique unbreakable bond with the companions they lost. Every time they look in the mirror, they won't just see their own reflection, but the enduring legacy of the companion who walked beside them for years, still looking out the world with them. This has been Stella Maris, your citizen correspondent, reporting for Newsline World.
Indonesia's first ever home-born giant panda cub, Rio Retama, has officially made his highly anticipated public debut at the Panda Palace in Cisarua, captivating thousands of visiting tourists. Jane Cadnita reports.
An extraordinary milestone for global wildlife preservation is drawing massive delighted crowds to West Java. Satrio Wiratama, a male giant panda cub affectionately nicknamed Rio, made his official public debut alongside his mother at Taman Safari Indonesia in Cisarua. At just over 6 months old and tipping the scales at a healthy 11 kilograms, the clumsy cub spent his first public hours testing his balance on wooden platforms and exploring his highland enclosure, much to the awe of onlookers and international conservationists who gathered for his formal welcoming ceremony.
In terms of conservation, I think that is number one. Because having baby Rio wasn't such a easy journey. Panda is not easy to breed, to be honest. And having baby Rio, we had to go through a lot of research with many countries involved, as I said before. So in terms of conservation, it's a milestone for us.
Rio's successful birth on November 27th represents a massive scientific triumph, marking the only giant panda born in a zoological facility outside of mainland China over the last 3 years. Born through a meticulous artificial insemination procedure, Rio is the offspring of 15-year-old pandas Hu Chun and Shai Tao, who arrived in Indonesia in 2017 under a 10-year conservation partnership with Beijing. Visitors and veterinary teams noted a natural, prominent pink hue coating the cub's thick white fur, which experts explain is a healthy dermal shield stemming from his mother's protective microflora.
Warna pink ini alami, jadi dari beberapa literatur menyampaikan bahwasanya ini adalah mikroflora normal dari air liurnya induk panda. Ini membuktikan bahwasanya induk panda itu tidak hanya memproteksi dari segi fisik, tapi pada saat dia menjilati anak panda, dia juga memproteksi dia dari keseimbangan mikroflora di kulit.
While veterinary handlers monitor Rio's diet as he transitions from maternal nursing to chewing his very first solid bamboo shoots, Indonesian wildlife officials maintain that the breakthrough success places the country at the forefront of global reproductive biology and international ecological research. This has been Jane Cadnita, Global Citizen Correspondent, reporting for Newsline World.
Famous lotus ponds in Vietnam have burst into full bloom, draping the regional landscape in vibrant shades of pink and white. The annual seasonal display is currently drawing photographers and international travelers from all corners of the globe. Joy Tabanao tells us more.
The sea of delicate blossoms is completely transforming the regional wetlands of Vietnam. On-scene footage captured on Monday highlights thousands of pink and white flowers stretching directly across the local valley as international visitors stroll along custom wooden walkways woven throughout the emerald green fields. The spectacular seasonal landscape has turned the rural district into an international hotspot for travel photography, with visitors reporting a deep sense of peace and tranquility while exploring the natural scenery at the Mua Cave site. The natural geography of the region enhances the visual spectacle. Towering limestone karsts rise sharply above the flowering ponds, while nearby traditional architecture adds to the area's picturesque appeal. The striking combination has made the landscape one of Mingping's most photographed seasonal attractions, leaving international travelers from countries like France delighted by the expansive floral backdrop. Local environmental records show that the annual Ludo season in Mingping's consistently runs from late May through August. The thousands of individual flowers reach their most spectacular peaks during the months of June and July, as the blossoms hit their absolute peak this month. Heavy crowds of travelers continue to flock to the unique wetland site. Tourists are traveling to the area to capture the stark, natural contrast between the colorful seasonal blossoms, the emerald green fields, and the dramatic limestone peaks. This has been Joy Banal, your global citizen correspondent reporting for Newsline World.
For showbiz news, actor comedian Dennis Padilla ships an emotional outpouring across social media after revealing that his daughter Claudia Barreto has formally filed a court petition to legally remove his real surname from her name. Here's Faith Agustin with the entertainment update.
Another high-profile legal rift has broken out inside a famously fractured Barreto-Valdivia clan. Comedian and veteran actor Dennis Padilla took to Instagram to share his profound heartbreak after discovering a leaked court directive involving his second daughter, singer Claudia Barreto. According to the official document filed before the Regional Trial Court Branch 302 in Quezon City, the 26-year-old artist is seeking a substantial judicial change of name, moving to officially drop Valdivia, her father's true legal surname, to formally become Gloria Isabel Barreto. Showbiz insiders point out that while the family is universally known by Dennis's famous screen name Padilla, his legal identity remains Valdivia. This is not the first time the comedian has faced a surname deletion from his children with ex-wife Marjorie Barreto. Back in 2013, Gloria's older sister, actress Julia Barreto, filed a nearly identical judicial petition after their parents' marriage was legally declared void. Julia later withdrew the petition following intense media scrutiny, electing to keep her father's legal name. While legal representatives confirmed the judicial process mandates the involvement of the Office of the Solicitor General and the Philippine Statistics Authority before any legal identity shift is granted, Claudia Barreto has kept quiet on her official channels, refusing to issue a public comment regarding her core motivations. This has been Faith Agustin, your global citizen correspondent, bringing you the latest show buzz.
In latest sports update, Victor Wembanyama delivered a dominant all-around performance as the San Antonio Spurs defeated the New York Knicks with a score of 115-111 in Game 3 of the NBA Finals on Monday at Madison Square Garden. Meanwhile, rising Indian archer Kumkum Mohod has set her sights on Olympic success after helping India win gold at the Archery World Cup and earning a spot in the country's Asian Games 2026 squad. Carlo Dela Peña tells us more.
Wembanyama finished with 32 points, 8 rebounds, 6 assists, 3 blocks, and 2 steals to help the Spurs cut New York's lead to 2-1 in the best-of-7 championship series. Stephon Castle added 23 points, while Dylan Harper chipped in 13 off the bench as San Antonio bounced back from a narrow Game 2 defeat and avoided falling into a 3-0 series hole. Jalen Bronson scored 32 points and OG Anunoby contributed 28 for the Knicks, whose 13-game playoff winning streak came to an end. New York struggled with its shooting efficiency, connecting on 40 of 88 attempts from the field and 13 of 37 from beyond the arc. The game marked the first NBA Finals contest at Madison Square Garden since 1999 and featured a lively atmosphere, with fans filling the arena for the highly anticipated showdown. Game 4 of the NBA Finals will also be played in New York on Wednesday as the Spurs look to level the series. Meanwhile, the 17-year-old from Amravati has emerged as one of India's brightest young talents following a breakthrough international campaign. Competing with a 5-year-old second-hand bow, Mohad teamed up with experienced archers Deepika Kumari and Ankita Bakat to secure India's first women's recurve team gold at the Archery World Cup since 2021. Mohad played a crucial role in India's victory, including a perfect 10 in a pressure-filled shoot-off against host China in the final. She also impressed at the Asian Games trials, finishing second overall to earn selection for the 2026 Asian Games in Japan. Despite her rapid rise, Mohad remains focused on the bigger goal of delivering India's first Olympic gold medal in archery, with the Los Angeles 2028 Olympics serving as her long-term target. Reporting for Newsline World, this has been Carlo de la Peña bringing you the latest sports news.
And before we end, may be inspired with the words of the psalm. Guard your mind, soul, and heart, that they will remain upright in the sight of God. And that's all for this edition of Newsline World. For God and my beloved country, the Philippines, I'm Val de Villagracia. Thank you for watching. Goodbye.
This is SMNI News Channel. Truth that matters.